Well, hello, it's me, Iris. If you are new to my YouTube channel, thanks for popping by and welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And whether you're new or you've been here before, please say hello in the comments. I might be talking to a camera here, but in my mind, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. So I'd really love that. Say hello in the comments. Anyways, in this week's video, I'm going to share step by step how to set up and have an informational interview. But before I do that, you know what to do. Please like this video if you like it and subscribe to my channel. It will mean the world to me and it will really help me to grow my YouTube channel. So thank you for that and let's get started. All right, so first things first, let me start by explaining what an informational interview is and why they are so important. An informational interview is an informal meeting with the main goal of learning more about a desired career path, company, or industry. So it's a conversation with someone who works at a company that you'd like to work for or in an industry that you'd like to work in, with the main goal of understanding more about what it's like to do their job, what it's like to work at that company or in that industry, what people they work with, what skills, experience, and knowledge is valued or necessary, and if you would be a good fit for it. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll probably have noticed that I keep on banging on about these informational interviews. That's for a variety of reasons. Number one is that it's really hard to know if you're going to like a job or a company. It's something that I hear a lot from people that I work with. They say, well, what if I take the job, but I don't like it, or I don't like the culture of the company, or I don't like the people I work with? Informational interviews give you a chance to fill those gaps, to get a better understanding of the company, of the job, and to take away that guesswork. 2, informational interviews can give you really valuable insight into things you otherwise would never have known. It can help you to connect the dots. So let's say, for example, you know you want to do something with innovation, customer research, and apps, but you've got absolutely no clue which job would tie all those things together. So what you do is you go on LinkedIn and find some people who have the word innovation in their job title. Do a bit of research, you reach out to them, and through those informational interviews with them, you learn that a job in a marketing strategy team at a small tech startup will combine all of those things. That's something that you would have never learned or find out from doing desk research or inner reflection, self-reflection. Number 3, informational interviews can help you find a job, can help you land a job in a company that you'd love to work for. Now, I've said this before, companies prefer to hire people they already know or through referrals. So informational interviews can be super valuable and helpful in getting to know the right people to help you find the job. If you are wondering, okay, how do I do that? Make sure you watch this video in which I explain the steps, I explain how to network to land your next job. The final reason why informational interviews are so important is because they can help you to prepare for a job application or a job interview. If you speak with people who do a similar role, or you speak with a hiring manager, you have an informational meeting with them, then you can learn more about what it takes to succeed in that role, and you can use that to your advantage when you apply for a role or when you have that job interview. Okay, now you know what an informational interview is and why they are so important. Let me talk you through the steps to set one up and have one. Step number 1, research. Those of you who like making lists, eat your heart out, because that's the first step. Before you do anything, have a think about the companies that you'd love to work for, or the types of roles or jobs that you're interested in, or maybe even the sector, industry, or the subject matters that you're drawn to. Write that down. Then hop onto LinkedIn and find people who either work at those companies that you've written down, or who do the kind of roles or jobs that you've written down, or who work in the field, industry, or subject matter that you are interested in. Check out their profiles and pick the 3 to 5 people that stand out for you, the people that you most like to connect with, the people that you genuinely like to have a conversation with. Then ask yourself, what would I love to learn from this person? What would I like to find out? What would I love to ask them? Write down 4 to 5 questions. Here are some examples. What's it like to work for company X? What's the culture like? What's the most exciting project you're working on right now? What kind of people are most successful or thrive here? And what do they have in common? How did you land your job? What advice would you give me if I wanted to work here or in this industry? All right, now you've done step 1, research, it's time to move on to step 2. Connect. Okay, so it's time to reach out to them. You could do this directly on LinkedIn, but a lot of people don't check their LinkedIn mailbox regularly. So it might be better and smarter to send them an email directly. If you don't have an email address, you can use an email finder service like hunter.io or snuff.io to find their email address. Now, you want to keep your message short, roughly 2 to 3 paragraphs. And in that message, you obviously quickly want to introduce yourself, explain then why you want to speak with them and not someone else, and finally ask for 20 to 30 minutes of their time if they'd be willing to have a 20 to 30 minute chat with you. Your tone of voice should depend on the person that you're reaching out to, the company that they work for, and the industry that they work in. So for example, if someone works for a bank or a reputable private equity firm, your tone of voice is probably going to be a little bit different to someone who works in a upcoming young food startup. Now I've created a little swipe file with some example messages that you could send out when reaching out for an informational interview, and I'll share the link for that in the description below this video, so make sure you check that out. Now there's a good chance that they won't get back to your initial email. Please don't take that personally and don't let it stop you. Just make sure you follow up. Send a gentle and kind follow-up message roughly a week after you send the initial email. And then if they still don't respond, send another one a week later. And then finally, if they still don't respond to that one, again a week later. So once you followed up twice on your initial message and they've still not responded, then it's time to move on and find someone else to speak with. Okay, so you have received a response. Yay! Now it's time for step number 3, which is prepare. It's essential that you prepare for an informational interview because it can get a little bit awkward if you show up and you don't know anything about them or the company that they work for or the industry that they work in. So start by doing a bit of desk research. Learn more about them. How long have they been in their current role? How long have they worked at the company that they're currently working for? What did they do prior to that? Have they shared anything interesting on LinkedIn lately or elsewhere? What kind of things are they into? What kind of things are they supporting? Any courses that they might be supporting or that they're passionate about? Try to understand and get to know them a little bit better. Then do a bit of desk research on the company that they work for and the industry that they work in. So what has the company shared on LinkedIn recently, for example? Has it been in the news lately? Has it received any press coverage? What trends or developments are shaping or disrupting the industry at the moment? Now, you don't need to become an expert about the company or the industry that they work in, but it's good practice to have a basic understanding of what's happening in the field that they're working in. The next thing you want to do is take a look at those questions that you've written down already. You should have written down 4 to 5 questions that you'd like to ask them. Now add an extra 4 or 5 questions because they might have a bit of extra time and you don't want to be unprepared and don't know what else to ask if they do give you that time. All right, so now you've prepared for the informational interview. Then we move on to step number 4, have the meeting. All right, so the time has come. It's time to have the meeting. There are a few things that you should do. Number 1, I almost feel like it's needless to say, but I'm going to say it anyhow, be on time. It's really disrespectful to show up late when you've asked for their time. So be on time, don't be late, just don't do it. Number 2 is take the lead. You've requested this meeting, so it's your job and your responsibility to take the lead. Start off by showing your gratitude and appreciation for their time, saying something along the lines of, "Thank you so much for meeting with me. I really appreciate it," goes a long way. Then briefly explain why you want to speak with them and what you're hoping to get out of this conversation. You could say something along the lines of, "I've been working in X for 10 years and I'm exploring my next career move. I'm really interested in Y," which is what they do. "So I was really curious about your experience and understanding a bit more about this field to see if it'd be a right fit for me." Then start by asking your first question. Number 3, stick to the time. After roughly 20 minutes, say something along the lines of, "I don't want to keep you for too long, and I've seen that we've already been speaking for 20 minutes. So would you mind if I ask you one final question?" This shows you respect their time and very subtly puts the ball in their court. If they have a busy day and they need to get on with it, then they might say, "Yeah, sure, one final question is fine." But if they have a bit more time, they might say, "Oh, it's okay. Feel free to ask a few more questions. I got another 10 minutes. It's a nice little trick to get a bit of extra time without imposing it on them. Number 4, always ask for a connection. You always, always want to make sure you finish an informational meeting by asking if they know someone else that you should be speaking with. They might know someone who is in a position to hire, and it'd be so beneficial if they would introduce you to them. So always ask for another connection. All right, moving on to the final step of the process. Step 5, follow up. This is just as important as the actual meeting itself, if not more important. But a lot of people fail to follow up properly, and instead of building a relationship for the longer term, they let this informational interview be just a one-off thing. Within 24 hours of having the meeting, send a thank you note. Send a message to, again, thank them for their time and their willingness to chat with you, and follow up on anything that you said you do. So for example, if you said you would connect them with someone, just tell them, look, I'm quickly going to reach out to that person. I'll connect the two of you as soon as I hear back from them. Then sometime between 1 to 4 weeks later, get in touch with them again. And if you can, help them. So for example, maybe during the informational interview, they've shared that they're working on a project where they are helping women of color succeed in the corporate world. And 2 weeks after you meet them, you see that someone on LinkedIn shares an article about this. So what you could do is you share this with them and you say something along the lines of, I saw this on LinkedIn, thought of you, thought you might find it helpful. Then again, 2 to 4 weeks later, reach out to them. If they have introduced you to someone within their network and you've had the meeting with that person, tell them how helpful that introduction has been. Or for example, share what piece of advice that they have shared has been most helpful to you. And if you can help them, even better. Even if it's just something on the lines of sharing a podcast or sharing a link to a book or an article that you've read. And that's the idea. That's how you build a long-term relationship. You keep on reconnecting with them and keep on being helpful to them and sharing stuff that they might be interested in. All right, there you have it. The 5 steps to set up and have an informational interview. I really hope this was helpful. As always, if you're watching it up until here, you must have liked it. So please leave a like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week.